And then something I will mention, because we do this a fair bit because it can really make things stand out, is if you can actually get some lights up here, I would probably try and throw like 2 up lights up on the second tier. You can mount them in the gutter and again have them shining a little bit more upright, so they're just shining up this this front area and the nice peaks that you have. It's not going to be too much light in the window because you're not necessarily shining it at the house. You'd be shining it more upright. And hey guys, it's Cal from the Lighting Doctor here. I hope you guys enjoy this video with some more great landscape lighting tips. To learn more about landscape lighting, go and check out our website at lightingdoctor.ca, or if you want to see what a real quality landscape light should look like, go and check out our Try It Before You Buy It offer, where you can get a premium quality fixture at a discounted rate with your very own battery pack, so you can go and test out how that light's going to look and feel what a real premium quality light should look like. So go and check us out at lightingdoctor.ca, or go watch more videos on YouTube just by searching for the Lighting Doctor. Hey Matt, yeah, I appreciate taking the time to send in your pictures here, and yeah, I'd love to give you a couple ideas. So I'll just kind of give you a bunch of ideas, and then we can kind of figure out a game plan of stuff from there. But you know, if I'm looking at the front of the house here, I mean, first thing I want to do is I would agree that in all these little islands where you have the trees and stuff, I would definitely probably just throw some up lights in there. One thing to keep in mind, especially because, you know, if you're going to be losing the foliage and stuff throughout the winter, it's best to kind of get it a little bit closer to these trees, especially when they're smaller like this, like maybe, you know, 6-8 inches back or so, and just have it shining more upright. And that's just a good rule of thumb with any of the uplights that you're going to have. If you can have them shining more upright in those areas, and along these guys too, you're just going to get a better effect. And just keep in mind viewing angle. So obviously this one I'd probably try and have that light in front. This one I'd probably have it maybe a little bit more on the corner here. This one I would kind of have on the side, and then same thing with this one. So I would definitely start with those 4 would be a real good start. And then on the front of the house, what I would do is just to really make the front entryway pop here, I would definitely try and get 2 more of those up lights just at the base of these columns and these pillars, so they really feature the nice brickwork that you have here, as well as having that light kind of hit the top here. And what it does, and I'll just kind of show you an example, a little bit of kind of what that looks like when you get that light there and it shines up and kind of hits the top here and spreads a little bit. That's what I'd like to see on your property, where you do that, and then it really lights up the entryway. And then I don't think you need to put a whole bunch more path and garden lights and stuff if you were to do something like that. Going along this side of the house, this is where I think again, you know, you might want to put an uplight on this tree. I think maybe if it gets bigger, it would be better. A good way of kind of adding some balance though between like some uplighting and some downlighting is here. I might actually just throw a couple path and garden lights along this edge, kind of in between the flowers and stuff, so it kind of highlights the flowers a little bit, as well as throw some light down on a nice retaining wall you have here. And if you wanted to kind of balance that out, if you have your uplight here, you could always kind of throw a path and garden light in this area as well, just so it kind of lights this area a little bit, as well as the retaining wall here that you have. And then on the back of the house, this is where I would put another one of those uplights. The only difference is on this one, I would use something a little bit brighter. So with most of these uplights, they come standard with a 4-watt LED lamp in them, but you would want to use something just a little bit brighter, so you have the option to upgrade these to a 35-watt equivalent, which is about a 5-watt LED lamp in there. So it's just a slightly brighter bulb. And what it does now is it just does a better job of pushing that light right up to the top here. And if you had that kind of at the base in between the windows, again, shining more upright, it's going to highlight some of the brick as well as the window frames in this whole front section of the house. And then something I will mention, because we do this a fair bit because it can really make things stand out, is if you can actually get some lights up here, I would probably try and throw like 2 up lights up on the second tier. You can mount them in the gutter and again have them shining a little bit more upright, so they're just shining up this this front area and the nice peaks that you have. It's not going to be too much light in the window because you're not necessarily shining it at the house. You'd be shining it more upright, and the way we do that is usually I would just, you know, run wire up or behind the downspout and then just right in the gutters across to here. And then we usually just use these gutter mounts that you can also find on our website, that you just mount into the gutter and the light screws right into there. All our connections are waterproof, so you can make them right inside the gutter. And I'd probably have 2 of those right here. And again, just to give you an example of what it can kind of look like if you have some of that second story lighting. These ones are placed a little bit differently just because of the slope of the roof and everything, but I'll still give you an idea of what that could look like if you were to do that. So that's what I would do. And then, you know, just looking at this back section, I'm not sure if this tree is on, that might not be on your property, so we'll just skip that for now. And then along the side of the house here, this is where I would probably still, again, this is a great picture kind of showing that, is even though it's just siding across here, it shows what it can do if you kind of light that again with those slightly brighter lamps in there. Getting that light to that top section, that just kind of helps it glow. And then especially if you've got, like you said, that you might be replacing some of these, if you even get those lights a little bit behind those, so it's kind of, whatever you decide to plant here, kind of highlights that plant, but then it also creates some shadows of the plant along the house, and it's going to get light up onto this side, so it becomes a really nice walking area. And again, because you said this is kind of a popular area, it would be nice to have the whole house featured properly. So I would definitely consider doing something like that along the side here. And then I don't think you need a whole bunch of path and garden lights, because I think, again, you have a couple in here that are going to help highlight this wall a little bit. You've got some uplights here to highlight these trees, and then you have the side of the house here, which you're going to get some reflective light back down on these beds. Would be a really nice start. In the back here, this is, you know, I'd probably look at throwing a small light on here, but maybe instead of an uplight, because you don't need something that bright for those smaller plants, but any time you have those smaller ones, a wash light like this is a good example. It's not as bright, it's got a bit of a wider angle lens on it, so if you kind of had one of those right in here that's highlighting this shrub, it's going to look good as you're sitting on the patio, but it's also going to look good to people who are just kind of coming by on the street. And then for this back area here, you can definitely throw some down lighting. It's really up to you where you want that. If you have like a main area, whether it be a sitting area or walking area or some things you want to feature, then I think having a couple down lights would be nice. I like using it if there's a pathway or some kind of feature to light. Otherwise, I think you could do a really nice job with just some uplighting. You don't have to light every single tree, but I think if you just evenly spaced a couple uplights and chose a couple of these, so that, again, just based on your viewing angle, if you're looking from the deck, it looks nice, and then as you're kind of walking by this area on the sidewalk, you really have some of these standing out. But again, the only thing I would do is I would increase the brightness of that bulb one more time from a 35 watt equivalent to a 50 watt equivalent, just because those trees are a lot higher. So if you can really push that light up into the canopies nice and high, it'll do a really nice job of lighting that up. So I might look at, you know, I mean, I'd probably put 4 to 6 of those uplights in here. And again, it's not as important that you are highlighting a specific tree, is that you just try and get them somewhat evenly spaced in this back area. Would look really nice. This would be another area where a wash light would be really good. I think if you kind of had like a wash light in here that kind of highlighted this little plant you have in the corner to create some shadows back on the house, would look nice, and the plant would kind of hide that light from the windows a little bit. And then depending how much of a walking area this is, you could look at maybe a couple path and garden lights here just to help highlight the bed a little bit and make that stand out. And then you could kind of do the same. Something I really like doing along a deck like this is I actually like using these undercap lights, and I'm just going to see if I have another picture of where, sorry, I usually have it. This just kind of gives you an idea how that light sits underneath the rail and the caps, and it does a really nice job of subtly lighting down below. So in your case, if you were to use one of these, and these come in a what they call a bronze finish, but it's basically a brown finish, that you could use those to maybe have 1 or 2 of those under this top lip. And it's actually, it's pretty easy to still get the wire up there. Usually I just run it up the side and just kind of staple it in the corner. And across here, that light easily just mounts to the top of this rail, and then you have that shining down, so it highlights the bed a little bit, but as well the surrounding deck area, so that as people are, you know, again, kind of passing by, they have the cool lighting effect on the deck a little bit, and it's going to, you know, put some light on the deck, so it just gives you a little bit of ambience as you guys are sitting around there. And that's, you know, probably what I would leave it at. I don't know if you want to put too much here. I think I would really focus on the other sides like we talked about already, and hopefully that gives you some good ideas, Matt. I mean, let me know if you have any questions and we can kind of go from there, but I think that should give you a really nice start. And yeah, and let me know how else I can help.
Hey guys, I just wanted to show you this real quick. If you see here, we got this bed area, and this was an area that was totally isolated, that we couldn't get wire to really. We got this nice, beautiful brick walkway here, but we're out on Vancouver Island where it is an island, most of it's rock, and there's just no way we could tunnel underneath that sidewalk without going super deep and totally messing up the gardens. So what we did is, if you see behind me here, on this bush that goes up and then across the doorway here and then back down, what we did is we actually used the gutter, and we actually ran wire up the gutter, over the doorway, and down into this bed here, and we were easily able to do that. And now we didn't have to tear up the whole garden, but we can get power here and still keep all our lights on the same transformer. So sometimes you got to be a little creative with how you get wire to different areas, but there's always a way, and you'd never even know that that wire's there, because where we came back down in the bed is right behind a trellis that we ended up highlighting and featuring anyway, that you guys can't tell from the video, but I can see it's starting to look really, really good, so I'm glad we lit that up. And that wire's totally hidden, so you'd have no idea how we got that wire there. So sometimes you got to be a little creative. You don't always have to go under the sidewalk, so think of alternative ways.
Hey guys, so I just want to show you, we're going to use our accent light a whole bunch in this property, and a lot of common areas we're going to use that is on some nice trees. We got a really nice tree here that we're going to try and focus on, but one thing I see people do too often, or more times than not, is instead of trying to get that light nice and close to the tree and having it shine up, so you're taking advantage of all the barking structure and then all the branching up top, is they'll bring it far back and try and aim it at the tree, and what happens there is they tend to miss a lot of the lower portions of the trees. And then also when it's, you know, depending on the area you live in, if you start losing a lot of foliage in the wintertime, then having that light shine at all the foliage is kind of a waste of time, and you lose a lot of the effect of that light. That's why I like having it closer to the tree. You know, here we're maybe 12, 14, 18 inches away from the base, and we're going to have it shooting almost straight up, because I want to highlight all this trunking and branching structure as possible, as well as now we're getting that light up into the foliage and into the canopy. So again, with our standard RS uplight from FX Luminaire, there's lots of other good ones out there. I like this guy because it's a real workhorse, and that's what we're going to use on this project. It's just another cool example. If you can see this top peak here, where we used a couple gutter mounts and just focused them in on that top peak, really turns out. Second story peaks, definitely something you want to focus on if you can get the lights up there. Definitely brings your landscape lighting plan to the next level.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys got some great do-it-yourself landscape lighting tips. Now please be sure to go to our website at lightingdoctor.ca and check out our how-to page. It's full of great resources, from our podcast to our video to our most frequently asked questions. And also check out our Try It Before You Buy It light, where you can actually go now and get one of our premium quality uplights and a King Innovation Insta-Light, which is basically a battery pack now that allows you to go and run those lights and test them out on your property. Try it for 14 days. If you don't love it, send it back to us and we'll give you a full refund. And if not, you keep the light at a discounted rate and go and buy what you need for your project. So thanks again for watching. Please be sure to leave us a comment. We'd love your feedback. Have a great day.